The Jamaica Queens veteran spitter and 38 Spesh reunite for a very slept on project of this summer. What is good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Moth. If you are rocking with this content, go ahead and smash that like button up for your boy, as that is greatly appreciated. Also, subscribe if you haven't. But today, I'm going to hit y'all with my thoughts on this new project from Grafh and 38 Spesh entitled God's Timing. So Grafh is this elite Queens wordsmith known for his stellar wordplay and unique rhyme schemes. Now, of course, Grafh, he's been getting busy since the early 2000s, but he's had a pretty decent second run of his career ever since about 2018, 2019, especially in the underground scene. He has rejoined forces with 38 Spesh because, recall, in 2023, the two locked in for the very solid Art of Words project. But this new one, it's called God's Timing, and it contains 13 songs lasting approximately 44 minutes. But with that being said, let me go ahead and just hit y'all with that track-by-track breakdown. The opening track, Language, is a horn-laced banger that will get you amped for this full project. The hook is catchy, Grafh is doing some ill criminology talk, the wordplay is basically flawless, and it's a low-key anthem to kick things off. I was definitely digging the energy. Track 2, Fight for Love, was an early single featuring Method Man. Now, Method Man has been on this unstoppable feature run as of late, and this is one of the standouts as well. Spesh reworks, shines the commission sample, and that goes pretty hard. While Grafh had a very solid verse, it was Method Man who was the MVP here. He really stole the show. Meth said, "Mirrors couldn't be clearer. This the face of insanity. Can it be? Did he lose faith in humanity, or did he do it Biggie by putting faith in his family?" So, of course, a very slick Biggie and Faith reference and immaculate wordplay from Meth across the board. One of the highlights indeed. Track 3, Rock, Paper, Scissors, is also one of the high points. Now here we're getting a very ill back and forth between Grafh and Spesh, flexing their chemistry over a grimy ass beat that is just the opposite of pretty. Like, it's instant screw face music. Two are doing exquisite coke talk, Spesh raps. I came in the Sprinter with more yay than John Forte had delivered. And that made me think about how John Forte is probably one of the most unlikely drug kingpins ever. I mean, when you look at his aesthetic as this intelligent, conscious guy, it just doesn't seem to match up. But hey, it's not to say you can't be a dope boy and be intelligent and conscious, but I mean, the Fugees, John Forte just never gave Kingpin, you feel me? But yeah, Rock, Paper, Scissors was a brutal, hard as nails track. Immediately after is another gem, Rockefeller Chain, featuring PD Crack, Memphis Bleak, and Freeway, over one of 38 Spesh's most polished and jazzy instrumentals in some time. Yeah, Spesh was in his bag for this Rockefeller anthem. The horns were crazy and the drums and bass were crisp. I'd say everyone went in as well, but Grafh and Memphis Bleak probably had the hardest verses to me. I was actually surprised Bleak's was as good as it was, but yeah, everyone came correct, and it's probably the illest song on this project. Afterwards is the rugged straight shooter with Papoose, and it's back to a dirty, straight to the point loop that's raw, lo-fi, but a good enough backdrop for these two lyrical assassins. Grafh had some slick wordplay and ill drug bars, but Papoose really slaughtered this. Pap said, "My M&M's a millimeter, can't wait to bang. My black 45 is serious, it got a shady aim." Track 6, Take Risks, features Vado and Dre Island. It's set to a dusty orchestral loop that's simple but effective. There's a reggae hook from Dre Island that was pretty cool. But I really dug Graph's wordplay. So signature Grafh. I am number one completely. Either get one completely or break down one completely. I won completely. And Vado sounded more enthused than he has in some time. So that's always awesome. And I really could have envisioned Fabulous on this as well for some reason. Following this is Glory featuring Wretched 32 and Alan Dawn. It's got more of a reflective, moody instrumental that was solid, and Grafh talks about overcoming hard times and just making a way. And while I could appreciate this sentiment, I didn't really enjoy the auto-tune layered reggae hook, and as a result, it's probably my least favorite song. Afterwards is Remember Who You Are featuring Jim Jones and Syrie the Kid. It's set to a murky organ-backed beat. The hook from Syrie the Kid sounded almost like it could have been delivered by El Camino, while Syrie represented. I do think this beat was calling for El Camino, though. Jim Jones did his thing, but Grafh was the standout with lines like, "So much work, I gotta cook it up in a steam room. I look at you and I see food. It's seafood. I make a bloodbath out of your gene pool." So cunning wordplay for sure. Things do mellow out a bit with the track Coolin', where we get some soothing sung vocals from Melissa B on the hook and a tranquil summary beat from Spesh. Grafh came through with some fly, slick talk, mentioning some things he has learned as a vet in this game. But yeah, it's a fly, mellow track with some poetic bars that is ideal for the summer months. Next is Poetry, which has a twangy backdrop that actually samples the same guitar riff used by Big Crit back in the day. This is a sultry, stick to your ribs, kind of wholesome instrumental, and Grafh delivered with some romantic, pimp-esque lines, you know, painting a picture of what he's just gonna do for the ladies. So as a whole, smooth riding music. Following this is Right Now with Talib Kweli, and it's got an atmospheric boom bap beat that feels like it could have been crafted by Static Select. I feel Spesh really came correct on this instrumental. Now on this track, you were getting some quote-worthy bars from both Grafh and Talib. They are talking about staying down, staying true to themselves, and not selling out, whether they get radio airplay or they don't. Grafh said, "Then I came through and gave hip-hop the leg, because y'all made pop while I made hip-hop instead. That's why I call you fake on the rec, and I don't care if radio play or reject it. I ain't changing the message. I ain't hating. I'm just saying y'all ain't saying the message. You busy concentrating on radio records." So Grafh is adopting a purist mentality here. Kweli has some noteworthy bars like, "No civility for white fragility. Love to kill the beast. The pride of the Panthers is still in me." Talking about you miss the old Kweli. All that's telling me is you don't really know Kweli. And the last track is Bulletproof featuring Don Paul and Dope Gang Porter. And it's got a murky head-nod instrumental. There's some cool wordplay from Grafh. But the guest features didn't really do a whole lot for me to keep it a buck, so it's not a highlight. It's more of a mixtape worthy kind of record. Then this project wraps up on a strong note with Give Praise featuring 38 Spesh, and it's backed by eerie gospel flip. The female vocal sample slaps. And some top lines from Spesh were, "Ain't talking about music when I was sampling. A couple fiends had to take a trip in the ambulance." So overall, I'm gonna give this project a rating of 4 mics. I'd say it's probably the best Grafh album since the Oracle 3, but I might like it just a bit more. I feel 38 Spesh's production had some high highs throughout, especially of the first 4 to 6 songs. Then there were a few serviceable beats that weren't spectacular, but they got the job done. And thankfully some highlights on the back end instrumentally. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section on how you feel 38 Spesh did beat-wise on this project, and how you feel his beats have been as of late. As far as the features were concerned, there were several artists who knocked it out the park, and a couple of features actually had the illest verses on this album in my opinion. But there were also a couple features that were just okay. But still, at the end of the day, this does seem like Grafh's most consistent and cohesive project in a while. You have bars on top of bars over solid gutter production, and the hooks were not too bad. Favorite tracks include Language, Fight for Love, Rock, Paper, Scissors, Rockefeller Chain, Straight Shooter, Take a Risk, Coolin' Right Now, and Give Praise. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Mob. I'm signing out. As always, is peace and blessings. Grafh 38 Spesh, God's timing. One.